a thing on the Breakfast Club, and it's been going around the internet. Lloyd Banks, Fabolous, who better? I mean, the answer is obvious. It's Fabolous. Now, if y'all just talking about bars, but if we talking about the entirety of an MC or entirety of a rapper, it ain't even close, man. Fab, Fab first album was pretty much better than anything Banks did on the commercial. I want to get into mixtapes, soul tapes, funeral Fab. Banks had one of the worst albums of all time, or at least anticipated. Rotten Apple. People took that shit back. No disrespect, and I like Banks. Banks is dope. He's a dope writer, but we just talking about, especially on the overall level, penmanship, bars, crossover hits. It's fabulous. That ain't even close. And I love Banks, and people that say, oh yeah, Banks, you heard this mixtape? Man, I'm not listening to no nigga after they prime for real. That's me personally. I don't give a fuck. After your prime is over with, I don't want to hear you. Other than like Nas and Pusha T, other than that, and I know, it's bad, right? I feel y'all on that, but we talking about when niggas was hot. I'm talking about that. Music entertainment playlist, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. It ain't no fucking comparison, man. And I heard Tony say he wanted to sign the G-Unit. And what they got to do about the price of tea in China? The gap in lyricism is not far off. If you want to say, Banks is made, more, is more lyrical, I ain't gonna argue with you. It depends on who you favor. But what we ain't gonna argue is commercial success. Anything you want to argue, album sales, all that, Fab, standalone. I don't even think Fab ever been part of a group. He did an album down the line with Jadakiss. He did an album down the line with Jadakiss, and at the end of the day, Fab was one of those. He was one of those rappers where he wouldn't like flood you. Fab would just pop up on you, tour, drop an album. He'll pop up on you, tour, drop an album, and then he gone. You know what I'm saying? That was Fabolous. You know what I'm saying? The first album was probably my favorite album he dropped, Ghetto Fabolous. And then he kind of started going to the girly shit a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But first album went platinum. Second album went platinum. Street Dreams. Real Talk. I remember he came out with Breathe on that one. I mean, Fab been around a long time, bro. That one went gold. But Breathe was hard, though. And then really pretty much after that, he pretty much was a gold rapper after the first two. Loso's Way was straight. He just been around so fucking long, bro. He been around so long. But for the most part, he had a nice run. When you talking about Lloyd Banks, if you got to put the things he did with G-Unit in there. That first G-Unit album was fire. That first album is one of the best albums he ever had. That was one of my favorite hip hop albums. Hunger for More. That album. That might have been between the two. To be honest, that album and Ghetto Fabolous. It's tough. It's a tough pick for me. That's a tough pick for me. But Banks' first album went platinum. I'm pretty sure the G-Unit album went platinum. Rotten Apple was rotten ass, but it went gold in Canada. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Banks. Niggas hate Beamer Visibility album, but that was Hunger for More too. I like that song, but I can see why people don't like it. That shit didn't even chart. That album didn't even like register. Like I said, when you going to talk about Hunger, what was the G-Unit album? I'm sorry, dog. And in reality, man, that might not even been the best G-Unit album out of the solo acts outside of 50. A lot of people like Straight Outta Cashville. You know what I'm saying? It was close to me. I loved them both. New York Niggas Son, I'm gonna go with that one. But at a G-Unit album, that shit went 2 times platinum. I feel like it should have went more. But yeah, we gotta dig into it, man. Just talking about overall Fab, bro. When you talking about everything, when you talking about record sales, longevity, consistency, I think Fab came out like 01. Like Ghetto Fabolous came out in 01. Holla back, younger, woo woo. Fab been out since 01. So, I think Banks were a little bit later, 03, 04, 03. I think because the hook for The hook for Jesus Christ. What's the name of that joint? The hook for the hook for Get Rich or Die Trying, that's Bank shit. Find me in the club, Fabolous with a bud, you know, that's Bank shit. Bank wrote that. So 03, so yeah, he came out a couple years long. I mean, both good, man. I feel when people say like the black community, we only ones that do Mike Tyson and Mike Jordan for real, or Kobe LeBron. You know, we only do one that do shit like this. So I think both of those brothers are a success, and I think 50 Cent kind of did some hoe ass shit to Banks and them niggas. I can't prove that though. I can't prove that fact. But you know, in my opinion, bro, I like both. But if we talking about the totality or everything, it's Fabolous, bro. Now, if y'all want to break it down, mixtapes, yeah, man, get fuck about that. Bars and albums. You know what I'm saying? Bars and albums. And you want to say something, Fabolous got it all covered. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know, Fabolous is kind of really known, like when he found the niche with like Little Mo, and he found that little niche in Superwoman and or whatever else songs he had, you know, he found that niche, he really, you know, tore it up. But, you know, Fab rap though, you know, Fab rap, you know, Breathe, Holla Back Youngin, I Can't Deny It with Nate Dogg, you know, and it be on Ghetto Fabolous, he was fucking rapping, but I just think he found a niche, and I think really the mixtapes like Soul Tapes, Funeral Fab, where he really can let his bars go. But overall, the commercial appeal, and overall, I would say Fabolous. I don't think it's a competition. I lived it, so I don't think it's a competition as far as everything they done. But as far as like bar for bar, it depends. You know what I'm saying? It depends on who you rocking with. But you talking about versatility. You talking about, you know, being able to rap with females and having commercials. You know, appeal. Probably even you talking about, you know, some of the you know, versus that you know, appearances that, you know, Fabolous made on albums compared to, you know, what Lloyd Banks could or couldn't do with G Unit. Probably still favorite Fabolous. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, to each his own, man. But to me, it's easy. It's easily Fabolous. I mean, you know, I think, you know, it's easily Fabolous, bro. You know, this is my opinion. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video, hit the link in the description, the first link, the link tree. You can find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch. Join the Patreon. I appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out the music entertainment playlist. But I think it's an interesting thing, man. I think, you know, I think Fabolous is kind of in that category with like Drake and the originator, LL Cool J. He kind of in that category, you know. And I think Banks is like in that category with Kiss. You know what I'm saying? He in that category with like, you know, guys like Kiss and, you know, Mobb Deep, and, you know, he kind of in that hardcore category, in my opinion. Like he's a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Beanie Siegel. That's how I kind of see him in that category, you know. But, you know, it all depends on what you favor. Appreciate y'all. Peace.